Hi again, and welcome to another edition of First Person on PressProsMagazine.com, presented by the Ruin Camp Farm Drainage Company in Fort Laramie for home, residential, commercial, farm. They make water work for you. If you got water problems, give them a call. That's Phil Barhorse there on Dawson Road in Fort Laramie. They'll be glad to help you. Our guest this week is Bruce Cahill, the longtime head baseball coach at Tipp City, good friend, and a guy that's eminently qualified to talk about the subjects we have this week. But I'm also going to preface this week's interview by saying, for those of you saying, why have it been so long getting a new interview up? Very difficult, as you know, Bruce, in the spring to coordinate schedules. And I'm just going to tell you that every time when we try to talk to baseball and softball people, and every time we talk to one or set up an interview, a rain out, a reschedule, we're playing this morning at 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning. You know something about that, so I appreciate you taking the time.
No problem. Thanks, Eddie.
Good to be with you. First of all, you're off to another great start by way of record this year with a youngish team, some kids that got some inexperience, and yet here at Tipp City, you just continue to win baseball games and, more importantly, develop young baseball talent.
Yeah, we have a pretty good mix this year with 5 seniors, 5 juniors, 4 sophomores, all of who played last year. Actually, we have pretty much everyone back, and you know, we've had some injuries, we've had some things to overcome, but we certainly had a good year.
You know, Bruce, one of the things that has amazed me during the years that we've known each other is the consistency. You, year in and year out, keep good kids coming into your program and keep baseball interest alive in Tipp City at a particular, as I said, a consistent level. Other communities have not been that fortunate.
Yeah, and I think it starts with pitching. I mean, I'd like to give credit to Jim Johnson, our pitching coach, first, because that was our 10th shutout of the year today, and you know, when you have 10 shutouts, you're getting the job done. You don't score many runs when you don't give the other team any. So that's been a big key. We've had depth in pitching. We've you know, Reed Farrell today, our 4th starter, and you know, throws a shutout. So you know, got to give credit where credit's due.
You also got to give credit to the league that you play in, because over the years, Shawnee's been very good. Bell Fountain has been very good over the years. Kenton Ridge, you know, Randall's not there anymore, but Tom really helped develop the legacy of good baseball in the Central Buckeye Conference.
Exactly, and we're a game up right now, but you know, we're in the last week, and we feel like we've had a good season, but yeah, we still have teams knocking on our door. Tecumseh's really turned things around the last few years too, and so you know, we're going all the way to the last week, having to win every game.
I'm going to give you an opportunity also to say, I know he watches this occasionally. That's the head baseball coach at Ohio State now, who is a product of this league, knows a little bit something about you. Greg Beal's a product from Kenton Ridge.
That's nice. We went over last Friday and got to watch them against Penn State, and Coach Beals gave us a 15-minute speech before the game down in their indoor batting cages, and it fired some of our kids up. I mean, should have fired them all up, but some of our kids really they thought that was impressive, and you know, it's great to have someone from our league, someone you know that you can call and talk to whenever you need to.
He's a very impressive baseball man.
Definitely so.
Great coach. Our guest again this week is Bruce Cahill, the head baseball coach at Tipp City. You've been here long enough, been around the game and seen enough over the last 20 years to answer a couple of questions pertaining to the new bats, the aluminum bats. I, like so many other people, have said for years that the old bats were too lively, probably put pitchers at risk, and a lot of position players, and I'd say that even goes down to softball and girls who are throwing from 45 feet. But now the adjustment to the BB core bat has, in the minds of some, said, for the expense, why are we not going back to wood bats? Does it have to be like it is? Have they overcorrected?
Yeah, although I've seen a little bit of improvement this year with the kids adjusting to these bats. I know last year we hit 1 home run as a team, and Carter Langdon himself has 5, and a couple of those might have been wind aided, but he had a couple that were definite bombs anyway. And so I would say that the kids have, you know, they're going to have to get stronger. They're going to have to do the things that or just work on hitting the ball square. That's the bottom line. They're still the good hitters still square it up, but it's those marginal hitters, the guys that don't work on it, they don't have a chance.
Still, Bruce, we've seen a lot of kids hit the ball really, as you say, they squared up on the ball this year and hit it 270 feet.
Right.
And a lot of coaches say, no, that's not fair to the kids.
Right. It definitely doesn't travel like it used to. There's no doubt about it. And You know, I don't know what the answer is. I guess, you know, they either have to change them a little bit back the other way, or go to wood bats if that's what they, you know, want to do to begin with. We have some kids, all our kids use wood bats in the cage, and a couple guys that we've faced this year have used wooden bats. They don't even use the aluminum. So, you know, I don't. It's either that or we change the ball.
I was just going to get to that, because some of the college coaches, Division I college coaches, particularly across the nation, say if we're going to use these bats, then we have to go to a better baseball, a harder baseball, a more lively baseball that, again, is more fair to the kid that squares the ball up. And you would favor that?
Yeah, and I've noticed it on a couple days this year when it was. This has been a weird spring. I mean, we've had a lot of rain, a lot of cold.
You think?
Yeah. But two of the days it was 80 degrees, and those days I thought the ball would be lively, but it seemed like the ball was dead those days. Like the humidity or something affected the flight of the ball. Just a lot of balls went out, like you said, 270 feet and just kind of died. And you know, I kept thinking, man, we gotta get some new balls in play here, but we had 5 or 6 in the game. It wasn't you know that the same ball was being used the entire game. It's just it didn't go anywhere. So.
I have to say this, you've been here a long time. You've been here long enough, you got a little gray going on up here.
Yeah, this is year 30.
Yeah, 30 years.
Don't have to remind me.
And doing what you do for amateur baseball and high school baseball, it's good to know there's guys like Bruce Cahill around, and you wonder how many more years guys like you can be. Do you see another group of guys like you coming in behind to fill in the ranks?
I know we have at least 3 or 4 in our league, and I'm hoping that, you know, it seems like in the past we've lost guys going into administration, and I tell them that that's not such a great gig, you know, to become a principal. But, you know, Aaron Schaefer at Kenton Ridge and Amy DeWitt at Shawnee and Jordan Shoemaker at Northwestern, some of those guys are just, you know, they're quality guys, they're into the game. I really hope, because I like them. I enjoy talking to them. It kind of makes me feel a little young now, but I remember when I was in their shoes, and I would love to see those guys, you know, coach 30 years.
How many career wins?
I don't know, but I do know this, and I told the kids this yesterday. I was happened to be looking. This next game that I coach here is my 800th, which is a pretty staggering number when you think about it. But I don't know how many wins are in there. Just a few, but just to be around for 800 games is.
The one thing that I think is not fair, no state titles. No state titles.
No, and you know, that's something that we're always shooting for.
You're always working.
Told the kids yesterday, that's your goal, it's been my goal for 30 years, so, you know.
Bruce, longtime friends, great to sit here and talk
Thanks,
baseball with you. We've
appreciate
done it many, many times. Again, Bruce Cahill, the head baseball coach here at Tipp City, wraps up this week's edition of First Person. Thanks again to our sponsors at Ruin Camps Farm Drainage and Bill Barhorst up in Fort Laramie, again, for farm, residential, and commercial. They make water work for you. Give them a call if and when you need them. Again, we'll see you again here next time on another edition. Until then, for Coach Cahill and our sponsors, thanks for your support of high school sports here on PressProsMagazine.com.